My fellow Decepticons, welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about TFcon and some of the figures that I picked up. Now, I am not going to be a figure review channel. There's a few reasons, one of them being I do not actually transform my Transformers. Now, I will transform them. For example, if it is shipped in vehicle mode and I want it in robot mode, I will transform it once. This is actually due to a paranoia created by the Kenner Transmetal Megatron, Transmetal 1 Megatron. So if you get that toy now in box, it is likely not to survive the transformation. Back in the 90s, it was still not likely to survive several transformations. It was probably one of the most fragile figures. Now, getting right into this, what you're looking at now is TFcon Megatron from Shattered Glass, and it has great details with the Shattered Glass Decepticon logo, which is red, as it should be. And this one was complete, and I bought it from a very nice gentleman there at TFcon. This is one of the purchases I enjoyed a lot. Looking at it, I really like the color scheme, but I almost feel like the paint application is a little rough on the head. The head that it comes with, the face, it looks strange to me. And additionally, it has blue eyes, which is, of course, interesting. Now, I did buy another version of this figure while at the convention, and on the topic of not transforming them, I wanted the smaller jet form, right? This is an incomplete Galvatron from Energon. This is the Voyager class, which the mold is shared by the BotCon exclusive. Now, it is missing the missile, the little sword, but I really just wanted another jet. I'm not too into vehicle modes normally, but I thought that the whole tank riding on top of a super jet was just so ridiculous that I had to get another one of these. So we're actually going to move these aside and show a figure that's a little more current, actually, that I purchased. And it is the 35th anniversary cell-shaded Megatron. And we'll move the BotCon exclusive out of here very carefully. Now, this figure I like a lot. I did not like the battle damage that was on the original mold, which I have right here. And as you can see, I, of course, beefed it up. Now, this is the regular version with parts from Brunt and Titans Returns and Reflector. But also from one of the Blast-Off sets. But yeah, so taking a look at this cell-shaded version, you can tell, there's a lot of thought put into it. I really like this. I'm not sure if I'm going to open it just yet. I kind of like the packaging. It seems very professional. I do absolutely hate the tank mode on this. Now, I know a lot of people like the look of the robot mode, but I think that this is possibly one of the weakest alternate modes that Megatron has ever had in a figure. Now, that's just my personal opinion. But I'm going to move to another tank, actually, real quick. And we'll get these set off the screen for you. Now, I bought quite a lot at TFcon, so be prepared for the long haul on this one. Now, this is a G2 Megatron that came with Space Warp and a Pretender shell, but this is actually just a different variant of that same figure. So as you can tell, the coloration is different. It is almost white. So the gray is a lot lighter on this figure than it was on the original BotCon exclusive that was released. I thought it was a cool little find, and I was able to pick it up at a decent price. So the seller was a very nice person to talk to as well. Now, we're going to move to some other BotCon exclusives here. Now, I haven't taken them out of the bag yet. This is Shattered Glass Galvatron. So we'll get them out of the bag here. And as you can see, there is a pretty cool card that comes with it as well. And I believe that this is a remold of a Blades figure. I'm actually not 100% on that, only because I'm not too up to date on my Autobot molds. But it comes with a Cyber Planet key. As you've seen recently, our worlds are in danger. Now, this is a lot of fun to me. I feel that Megatron as a helicopter was a neat little gimmick in some of the other shows. I don't know if it's my favorite alternate mode for him, just because a helicopter, I don't see them as being particularly fast. While they're pretty deadly, I would say, to humans, I would find it, hard to believe that it would be the best alternate mode for a Transformer. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just haven't flown in enough helicopters. But yeah, so this is Shattered Glass Galvatron, which now falls into that same predicament that I have, where I don't transform Transformers. So I'm not sure whether I will keep this one in alt mode yet, or transform it once and put it on the shelf. It'll probably be the latter, only because of space. So I will probably be forced to transform it once. But we're going to take this guy off screen, putting him somewhere safe, as he is a rare version. Got to get his missiles and parts out as well. So, keeping in that trend, I was able to pick up this BotCon Cybertron's Most Wanted. It is a redo of the Voyager Breakdown, and this one is actually damaged. Now, I did not know that when I purchased it. Here's a little praying mantis that he comes with, some arms Micron. And then he also comes with Megatron's fusion cannon of some sort that opens up, that was similar to Prime. Now, he is damaged, and we're actually going to compare him to a release. So this was possibly a hard copy. The seller wasn't 100%, I think. But, yeah, I was disappointed to come home and find it to be damaged, but the mirrors are missing on both sides, and now the mace is stuck permanently in there. I have attempted to remove it, but that just does not work. None of the pegs are the right size, I guess. So I've now decided not to put anything in, and it'll probably be displayed in vehicle mode as it is. Now, I'm going to open another one I bought to compare the two of them and see what we all think about it. So forgive the noise. So this was the only purchase that I was actually disappointed by at the convention, because I had the impression that it was complete, and I found out it was not complete. Now, I liked Breakdown a lot in Prime. His design wasn't my favorite, but with this coloration and stuff, the kind of mix of Dark of the Moon Megatron with Breakdown's aesthetic, I think it worked really well for them. And I think that, when you look at this figure, it is an imposing character, and I like that about it. So, it is still strange, though. The feet and everything seem weird to me. But here that is. So, you can compare the two. It has a nice head sculpt as well, in my opinion. Let's see. Interesting. So, that is that one. So, we're actually going to drop him off the camera here now. We'll put him somewhere safe, because he is, again, rare and apparently fragile. So, now the next figure we're going to cover, I believe, was Croc. and we'll get the praying mantis and them out of there in a second. So this is Croc, which is based off of IDW's stealth bomber design. I don't have him all assembled, but here's the coloration, and I'm going to transform him real quick. This is actually a figure I am familiar with the transformation on, and he will now be permanently set in this mode. Now I will do this where I'll buy like a third one that I buy if I really like the mold to play with. And that is something that I've done for a long time where, you know, if I decide, I really like this, I want to be able to fool around with this figure or pose it, I buy several of them. And I did that with Titans Returns Megatron. I liked that one a lot. I did that with, Titans Return I did it with, but that's actually not one of my favorite molds. But I did it with a few molds, and it was a lot of fun, and I get the appeal of transforming Transformers, and I get that it's, extreme, my habit, but hey, what kind of Megatron would I be without a little extremism? So this is Croc. I don't have him completely transformed here, but I'm just going to get him ready. So this is Croc. I got him from the same seller as the Cybertron's Most Wanted one, the one that was broken. And he comes with this little Micron here. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It really looks like it's supposed to be a Croc, but it's almost as much as an abomination as the Optimus Prime Croc hybrid that we saw in G1. It is quite strange looking. Now here's the Megatron's or Croc's little railgun as well. So that's neat. We'll put that on his arm. So we got quite a few things, and all the people who I was there with were pretty patient as I went around to the vendors. And I kind of knew what I wanted when I went there. I just never went to any of the BotCons, so I decided to buy all the BotCon Megatrons that I just never got because I never went. And so it was definitely a successful weekend, in my opinion, from a collection standpoint. But we're going to take Croc off stage here. He's having a little bit of stage fright. So, if you don't mind putting Croc on the side. Now, I got a few gifts while I was at the convention, which was very nice. And several of them came from one of my most loyal people, Lugnut, who had got me several of the McDonald's toys from Prime and Revenge of the Fallen, and then the real replicas, or I forget the term that they use. I had these figures, but I actually really appreciate when people give me small figures and stuff. I enjoy messing around with them and displaying them. And here's another figure unrelated to Lugnut that I just happened to get out of one of the junk bins. Felt like saving that guy. He's missing the last little bit on his wings on the back side here. But, it's hard to tell since movie Megatron kind of looks like a mess anyway. Now, I also got a Demolisher card from Lugnut and the common Megatron Decepticon Leader card from the Transformers cards game, TGC. And then also another copy of the DS game. So we're going to look at some of the Prime stuff that I got now. So we're going to move these little guys off. Thank you again, Lugnut. Your generosity is always appreciated. Now, here is the final battle Megatron that comes with a Arms Micron, which is a little character that, if you look at it here, it looks like it can become a sword. Looks like it can become a laser beak looking creature. I don't even know what that looks like. That same crocodile from earlier. So apparently this croc and this bird are able to form this Star Saber, Dark Star Saber. And apparently they market it as being able to hold additional weapons, and I, of course, cannot read the Japanese, as I believe this was a Japanese exclusive. And if I recall correctly, this is the arm of Solus Prime. So I don't know if you can see that, but on this side here, the right arm is the arm of Solus Prime, which Megatron removed his own arm in Prime so that he could wield the Forge of Solus, so that he could make the Dark Starsaber to challenge Optimus. And get revenge for that face that he made Megatron make that has become such a beloved meme. But yeah, I really like the box art on some of the Japanese figures. And this one is no exception. This is one of the ones that I may keep in box, may not. I think I want to display it, but I'm just not sure yet. So moving along, we have just some other BotCon figures that I happen to get through buying the other ones. So I actually don't even know who this is. I'll have to look. So this is Thundercracker, which I will be attempting to sell. Will not be taking him out, but he's complete with his card. And then this is Rapido, I guess. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Let's see. Apparently, his stuff looks like it's in Spanish. Interesting. And he is a small red car, 2-door. Looks like a race car of some kind with branding for number 19. So I do not remember all the BotCon storylines. I'll put all these in the same bag. We can put these safely. So we'll remove these cards too. Now, I also got this Megatron repaint of, I think it was the 10th anniversary of Beast Wars. Now, I'm pulling it out of the bag for you. This one I will leave in Beast mode, only because I actually really don't like the sculpt on the robot mode. So, get him to stand up. But that is just another BotCon exclusive that came with a Cyber Planet key and the G2 Decepticon logo. So that's kind of cool. So, looking at this, I didn't like the 10th anniversary figure. I was actually super disappointed by that. I love Beast Wars Megatron. I just felt like this one had a lot going on and not a lot going for it. As a repaint, it's nice. It's definitely unique. I forget which character this is supposed to represent or be in the Beast Wars timelines. But just some other things from Beast Wars that I got was I bought 2 of the VHS tapes, which is one of them has Code of Hero and Bad Spark. I've heard people like those episodes. Then I also got a interesting Armada Megatron poster here, or little insert of some kind. And I think it is just from Japan, but it actually also has G1 Megatron in the back. I don't know how well you can see that. So we're going to pull this stuff off the table here. Put it somewhere safely nearby. Now I'm going to pull up the Inferno and Transmetal. I think it's just Transmetal Scavenger. Yeah. It's not Transmetal 2 or anything. So I bought Scavenger in the box. Scavenger is planned, or was planned by Kenner, to be the Transmetal version of Inferno. Now, before the show came out, I think Inferno wasn't selling very well, and was kind of a shelf warmer. And I heard somebody else say this as well. I'm almost directly quoting them, but I can't remember who said it, so I'll do my best not to. But yeah, so Inferno was a shelf warmer, so I think that had something to do with why they changed the name, on Scavenger, and did not make him Transmetal Inferno, which I'm kind of disappointed at. I would have liked it to be Inferno, but hey, at least Scavenger got some time in the comics, so that is kind of nice, and he's seen a few times, I think, in Rising as well. But I also got Inferno here, who I'm just trying to set up. He's still in ant mode. Does anybody remember the character Ant Agony? If you do, please sound off in the comments. So apparently Inferno had, a little bit of trouble there in the box. So here's Inferno in all his glory. For the royalty, of course. I might not put him next to Megatron, as I believe that he might drive him crazy. But the reason I bought Inferno and Scavenger is because it was originally planned that Megatron would die or be injured and come back as this fire ant. So I believe that this was, a design that was originally intended for Megatron. I, of course, had Inferno as a kid, but I destroyed that thing. And I also destroyed Scavenger. Apparently the horns were pretty weak, because I even broke those off on his head plate. But it's nice to see the Beast Wars packaging again, and to hold these two classic toys. I always really like these character cards, too. And what's interesting is this Voyager was $14. Does anybody remember that? It has the original Walmart sticker. Which is funny, because back in the 90s, I actually had never seen a Walmart. I had near me KB Toys, a place called Noodle Cadoodle, and of course, since I grew up in Jersey, the corporate stores for Toys R Us. So that was pretty cool to see, kind of what it looked like elsewhere, wherever they got it, which I assume they bought it from somebody else, but maybe this is their original figure they bought from Walmart. So I'm moving these aside, and we're going to bring up another figure that I did not buy at BotCon, but I'm putting it up for scale, and just so you guys can get a sense. So this is Transmetal 2 Megatron. Now, the original figure left a lot to be desired. Not that it was inherently bad, but it wasn't exactly show accurate, and it had some weird things like this shield, which, I like as a removable piece, but that's not the case with this one. And I believe it was also somewhat fragile, as were some of the Kenner figures overall. I don't know if that's a QC issue or just the way it was. Now, if you see, we're actually going to be comparing him to somebody else here in the near future. So if you give me just 1 second, we will pull up the big purchase of the convention. And this is not in price point, but in just sheer scale. So this is a masterpiece scale, I feel. Transmetal 2 Megatron. Now, what I like about this figure, I spent a lot of time deciding which one I was actually going to get, which third-party Transmetal 2 Megatron. And I decided on this one, which I feel is just the best because it has the metal on the claws. It has the orb here in the center. I don't know. I didn't know what to call it. I think at one point they had discussed them having some sort of pilot or gimmick that had to do with that. That's why the toys look so radically different, with that little pilot seat or whatever. And I think Optimus had something. Optimus had a little cavity that he could store somebody in. But yeah, so when you look at this figure, it's pretty show accurate. There is some damage in the paint. I think it's just the way the company did it. It does have lights. I don't normally put batteries in my figures, but if it comes with it, then great. This one I don't believe did. So if you look at it, it's pretty huge. We have a picture of it compared to a 70-inch TV, which we might put on a screen. I just played the scene from Beast Wars where Megatron rose from the lava as the Transmetal Dragon. So, and I put him in front of the TV for dramatic effect. So, if you look, my only few issues with the figure is there is back kibble, which I don't really care about, and it's really well contained under that nice hood there, and that is much better than the original figure, which, if you look at the original figure here, the arms and everything were all just kind of out there. I think you can like set it up so that the arms come in and do whatever, but it still looks like there's just arms on his back, so it is a vast improvement from the original. And what I like about the color scheme is I think it stayed really true to what it was supposed to be, and it added a lot of details. Like, they didn't just make a Transmetal 2 Dragon and leave these parts blank, or like the tail is very ornate, the head is very ornate. There's different scaling textures or scale textures throughout, and like I think part of the original idea was like why all of the Transmetal 2s were asymmetrical was it was like they were part machine, part organic. That was a element I could have done without, to be honest. Not my favorite addition there, but you can see that he has one organic looking knee, and he has a more like robotic looking knee, and all these pieces kind of move a bit too, so that's kind of nice. So you can kind of move it about, and if you're really a stickler for poses, his hand is fully articulated, and like you have I mean, they are sharp talons on his finger. So this is just the final piece that I got. I'm gonna show, let's see, I might have one other thing I wanted to show. Oh yeah, there goes Megatron. We'll get him out of here. So I have two pieces of art that I'd like to show off as well. I have a new friend that I made there named Rachel, or Knockout. And they made this amazing little scraplet. You can find them at several conventions selling them. Now, we also have a picture frame with a cross-stitched Predacon logo. And that was the last little artsy things I bought. Now, this was done, the cross-stitch was done by Dorka, who you can find on Twitter. The Decepticon Empire, or TDE Transformers, is my Twitter name. So you can see sometimes, maybe I'll retweet the next time they post this up. But I thought they had a great set of art, and it was something fun that I could put next to my little Beast Wars section over there. So, for BotCon, TFcon, there was actually a BotCon pin that I got as well. I bought a second one of the duck pins, and I also got I think it's an oil slicker pin. So those are the last little weird items I got from the convention, and I had a great time there. I hope any of you who were there had a great time as well. I'm going to be signing out for this video, but thank you all for watching, and I wish you the best.
Reroute all likes and subscribes to this YouTube channel.
But sir, what about the other YouTubers?
Any further objections? Ram this video straight into the minds of our viewers.